we do look like we all have been checked. Hey, everybody, welcome to Shorthanded, our brand new Batter Sports NHL special show. Why is it special? Because we are shorthanded. As everyone knows, Batter Sports is known for getting into the meat and potatoes of what's bad and great about sports. And I'm joined by our kid expert, because guess what? He's all involved in the NHL. Nick, how are you doing? You're our expert, as always. Happy to have a show with you to talk about the NHL.
Thank you. What's up, guys? I'm doing good. I'm Nick. I'm talking about hockey. Watch it every day. I mean, I'd say I'm obsessed with it. I watch it during school, everything,
We actually had a fight last night because somehow he was watching 3 games at one time. And we ran out of TVs, and other people wanted to not watch hockey.
Yeah, those people need to leave the house, I think. I think that's what I'm hearing. I'm thinking the people in your house that are not involved in hockey, they understand the playoffs are here. Like, this is the time that he needs his own basement full of hockey stuff.
Exactly.
When are you getting the 8 TVs? Did we send you the 8 TVs? Oh, not yet. Please subscribe and like, and Nick will be able to watch all the hockey his heart desires.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a project that we're working on in the house. We want to take a section of the basement and turn it into a Penguins man cave.
Yeah.
Nick, talk a little bit about that.
I don't think this is a work in progress. This needs to be completed.
Yeah. So in the summer, we're thinking about working on getting in the basement, because right now I'm just in the other room watching hockey, then I'm in that room watching hockey, then I'm watching on my phone. So I think getting in the basement is a dirty room. We get rid of everything, and we paint the walls yellow and black, just like my jersey. Get Penguin stickers on the walls, hang up jerseys up there too, and then bring a couch downstairs, because we might get a new couch, so bring this one downstairs if we could fit it. And then we have an air hockey table in the other room. Bring that air hockey table down there. Perfect idea. Then get a TV so I can play downstairs, watch hockey downstairs, so no one's bothered by my screaming.
That I think we need a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I think this is the first shorthanded GoFundMe for our expert to be involved and engaged. The only thing I would recommend is you need to hollow out one of the walls, put in some extra padding so you can do slappers against it.
Exactly.
Get yourself some fake ice down there, so when you go down there, you have to take a slap shot and score a goal to watch hockey with Nick. You can't just show up.
That's how the QB turns on. You got to hit it.
Yes. You got to
elevate it top right.
Yeah, you got to go top shelf. As they always say in the video games, where mama holds the cookies. Well, here's our playoff show. This is a lot of fun. I'm really happy to be doing this with both of you. As always, again, this is going to be a good time where we go into the NHL playoffs and what we have to see. The real season starts now. There are some teams that are out that I wanted to just touch on before we get into the teams that made it. The teams that I believe, what were the teams that I would say to you, Nick, that shocked you that didn't make it to the playoffs at all, that had a bad year?
That had a bad year that didn't make the playoffs. Well, everyone in the beginning of the season with Nashville, everyone thought there was a lot of favorites to win the cup, actually, because getting in Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and a bunch of star defenders, I think they totally should have made the playoffs. And even they made the playoffs last year, but not making it this year with all the new moves, I think stunned me the most.
That's fair. I think that's a solid pick. Todd, do you have one that surprised you that didn't make it in?
Did the Arizona Coyotes make it?
No, they didn't make it again.
They didn't make it?
Nope.
That was always next year.
Yeah, they'll give it another try next year. I have 2 that I thought were shocking. One would be the Boston fans. I was in Boston recently for some college hockey. They've given up on that team. It was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Fired their coach midseason. The team was supposed to do something. It's doing nothing. Now it's way out of the playoffs. Had a complete down year. Traded some players. Got rid of some key talent to some playoff teams. The other one was the Rangers to me. The Rangers had a lot of hope, and they just didn't do it. And I know you guys are in New York. I imagine the Ranger fans are none too pleased. I know the Penguins had a down year, but they're getting aged out, I would say. But we'll see what happens in the offseason. Who hires who? What coaches move? It'll be a good offseason. We'll definitely report on that. But let's jump into the playoffs. And I have my bracket here. And I know, Nick, you're excited because last year you filled out a bracket, did a great job of that. I want to start over in the Eastern Conference, and I'm going to go with what your picks are. Let's start off with the very easy matchups, I will say, which would be Washington. We're going to start with basically the number 1 seed, Washington, versus the Montreal Canadiens, who had a big party because they just got in on the second to last day, their last game of the regular season. So the Montreal Canadiens are in, and everyone's excited about that. But they can play against Washington, who is the number 1 seed. What says you, sir?
So Capitals obviously is a favorite to win the cup, but my pick here, Canadiens in 7.
That is
Because Canadiens in 7.
That's wild.
So basically, my decision here, Capitals have been doing not so good their last couple games, and I think Montreal's energy, the crowd, the fact that they're in Montreal, I think, getting even Demidov was great. Nick Suzuki has been on a roll. They got a bunch of key players, and honestly, I think their energy right now versus the Capitals' energy is gonna absolutely take a toll on them.
But how much do you think like the Ovechkin goal chase is going to affect them? Because they've got a lot of energy going in. Ovi's 39. He passed Gretzky's record on April 6th. Everybody knows about it. It's it was like the Ovi countdown. Poor Gretzky had to hobble his way to every single hockey game that Ovi was in, in case the guy scored 5 goals a game or something like that. Do you think Washington's we're definitely going to get in there and we're going to win this for Ovi? What's your thought on that? I know Montreal finished 10-0-2.
Yeah. So I think they were focusing so much on the Ovechkin goal record that they wanted him to get it done, I think. I'm pretty sure. And they just wanted him to get it done so they could focus on winning more. Because with the goal record and everything, too focused on that, not focused on winning. So I think they got too distracted, which obviously it's the goal record. I get it. But I think Montreal was they're a better team full right now.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. You have Montreal in 7 winning Game 7 in Washington, obviously. So you see that as a long series. Again, the NHL is notorious for having a lower seed beat a higher seed. We can go all the way back to when the Florida upset Boston, and that was a terrible one. That was the end of Boston. They didn't even know it was the end of Boston. They were up 3-1, and then they lost, I think, an overtime game, a game at the end. So that was a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So you have Montreal, which would make all the Canadians happy. Defeating
I don't know,
Washington.
man. I think Ovi's such a playmaker. He's so good at tossing assists, and we all know how effective that is in the playoffs. I think that Ovi's such, he's never been a really I'm going to score all the goals type guy. So
and honestly, since the Penguins aren't in the playoffs, there's no team that the Capitals are gonna absolutely lose to, because the Penguins are known for beating the Capitals in the playoffs. But still, I think the Canadiens have an edge right now.
Seriously, Nick, though, do you think if Logan Thompson comes back for Washington, do you think that changes things for you?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, he's been probably a top 5 goaltender for me this season. But, I think that could change a lot of things, because Capitals without Logan Thompson, they've been giving up a lot of goals. And in the game last week against the Blue Jackets, 7-0, and then they went home, lost, I'm pretty sure it was 7-3, giving up way too many goals. So if they can get Logan Thompson back, that'd be big for them.
They're expecting him back in Game 1. Does that change anything for you?
Mm-hmm. If he's back for Game 1. Also, Matthew Tkachuk should be back for Game 1 for the Panthers. It's going to be big for them, too. So a lot of injuries coming back are going to be big for teams.
Okay.
But you still think Montreal's going to take this?
I'm pretty sure. I haven't submitted my bracket yet because I wanted to talk about it first. But, that would be a huge upset. So, I'm going to take Montreal in 7.
So here's what I have to just make some notes here. So Montreal's a -20 on goals given up versus goals, goals allowed versus the scored goals. One of the worst in the playoffs by a mile. They are
goal differential, as they say.
Yes, run differential, goal differential. That's correct. They're minus 20. They also have, I think, a good thing being that they are not the highest point total for the league. That seems to be guaranteed. You don't win the cup when you get that. And notorious, if you have the most wins, the most points, you don't win the cup. That's, again, it's a great thing that, again, I don't think anybody wants.
Wait, how is that a great thing? You just said two negative things. That's not a great thing.
It's a great regular season thing that teams used to really tout and be excited about. But since none of that has translated over to the winning of the Stanley Cup, people tend to try to not win it. So Washington doesn't have that. I also think Montreal doesn't have the physicality to play with Washington. I think
why? Because Tom Wilson's a punk?
No, I think they're young. I think their defensive side has a bunch of, they got kids like Hudson who came out of college. He's still, he's an assist guy. He's not an aggressive guy. Like, you can body him. There's a lot of guys on Montreal that you can just, again, it's a different type of hockey in the playoffs. It's all about hits, checks, physicality. So you have to have the horses, and Washington has that. And I think the reason why you saw them completely tail off is they were getting healthy, not wasting their time trying to block shots. Don't block a shot, break your ankle. But now we're in the playoffs, break everything. So I see a difference here. I'm trying to give you a little light into what I'm seeing. Todd, what do you say about this series before I get into it?
Montreal's too good at home. If Washington gives up a game in Washington, series is over.
Dear Lord in heaven.
Montreal is not losing at home. So all Montreal has to do is go down, and they have to steal, as the French would say, le bon homme. I don't know what that means. I failed French. Anyway, so as the Quebecois would say, you go win in the other team's building, and you make it a lot easier on yourself when you come home.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to.
Well, Nick's picking them to win the 7th game on the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think if Montreal Canadiens are going to win, it's going to be less.
You think game 6 at home?
They play 6 games?
No, 7. You're saying
I thought it was best of 5.
Best of 7.
Best of 7.
It's best of 7?
All hockey is best of 7. It's the way God made it.
Montreal do they do 2-3-2?
No,
or do they do this
2, 1, 1, 1?
Wait, they do 2,
2, 1, 1.
So game 6 is their last game at home.
Game 6. Montreal in 6.
Okay. That's just to clear it up. So you both are picking I would say the upset.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Penguins jerseys. On what planet do you think we're going to pick the Washington Capitals for anything?
I have the Capitals in 5. I think this is an easy series. I don't even think it's close, and I'm worried for the health of Montreal. I think they're going to take a couple guys, and they're going to get completely destroyed. I think Hudson may not even last the whole series, the way they're going to check him in the forecheck. So I think Washington just handles their business, and they go on to a better meal in the next round. So that's our first one. Let's go to the Canadian matchup, Toronto, Ottawa. We finally get to see the face-off that everyone in America is, I guess, not very interested in, but Canada certainly is. And Toronto, all I remember about Toronto, and all everyone remembers as being a light hockey fan, is that Toronto coughs up and never does what they want to do, which is bring home the cup, which everyone's so...
Wait, no. They are a modern-day dynasty. They've won like 3 cups since 2010. It's the most dominant Canadian hockey that's ever existed. Stop with this talk about Toronto.
So they get that little mini cup after the regular season?
Oh, wait, no, that was the participation trophy.
Yeah.
They're always in the...
Yeah, you played.
They did get out of the first round recently, so congrats to them. So, Nick, what do you got? Toronto, Ottawa.
All right. I got Toronto in 6. Battle of Ontario is going to be big, but I think Toronto, they got out of the first round, so I don't think they're going to have a huge drought like they did. Obviously, it's going to be tough because, the Senators wild card team number 1, but Atlantic number 1. I don't see the Toronto losing this series.
Yeah, didn't Toronto finish the season with a 37 goal differential?
Correct.
Yeah, that's. I mean, Ottawa sneaks in with 97 points and a +9. To me, I trust you. I trust my son.
And also, Toronto, Senators slipped in with like 92 points, I think.
97.
Senators?
Yes.
But then also, you have the Flames that didn't make it with 96. So it's like, they're not on par with like these great teams. And how many points did Toronto get?
Oh, 108?
Yeah, so I don't see Toronto choking this series at all. And the milestone Matthews just got with 400 goals, I think they're locked in.
Got 400 goals?
400.
Austin Matthews?
I think he's going to beat Ovechkin's record if someone has to do it.
Yeah, Brady Tkachuk came back from injury too.
He's great. I mean, Tim Stutzel's great for them too, but they don't have superstars like Matthews, Marner, Matthew Nyes, Morgan Riley. So, I got Toronto in 6.
This is interesting to me because what I've seen in the last month of the season has me leaning on Ottawa. The only reason why I say that is I'm a big fan of the grunt work or the trench work, if you will. I'm a soft hand power plant worker, which means I like to type the laptop and watch really, really heavy men do all the heavy work, which is fantastic because those guys keep us going in the world. And I look at the NHL in the same way. You want guys that are able to fill the trenches, hit, forecheck, hurt people. That's what you're looking at. So in the NHL, when you say I have a superstar, unless he's getting the calls, it doesn't help you.
So let's see what Morgan Riley did to the guy that did a slap shot to the empty net. Morgan Riley killed him. So I think Toronto has the fights, the big size, everything.
I'm just telling, you and I disagree on the first 2 picks because I think if I was going to have a wild card upset, it's going to be Ottawa. It's not going to be Montreal.
You're about as much fun as the Senators owner, who basically said he ring-fenced the ticket sales so to keep out the blue and white. So that's going to be a really hostile arena in games 3 and 4. But that's how much fun you are. You're like, I don't want anybody coming into my place that's going to disagree with me.
Ottawa hasn't been around in the playoffs like Toronto. They don't have the consistency that Toronto has. So it's kind of like that new car feel, that new car smell I'm going with.
And then they're gonna use a car. Then they're gonna crash the car.
That's fine. I have Washington in 5. I have Ottawa in 6 in this one. That's my pick. I see Toronto going down, and then they're going to have to trade a couple guys in Toronto they're going to be told to retool, figure it out because they're not making it. Again, their goaltending continues to be the biggest question mark for Toronto.
Yeah, you know what's intimidating about Ottawa is all those banners.
And Ottawa,
I just said new car smell. I'm buying the new car. The new car smell, the new dealership that said, hey, we have a new car.
Dude, the last time Ottawa won a cup, you had to crank the car by hand to start it. They didn't even, come on, man.
Todd, the fans are going to be so drunk before they drop the puck. It's going to be insane. It's going to be absolute. If you want to enjoy playoff hockey, go to game 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You will have the best time ever. Don't wear blue. You will have the best time ever. Do not wear blue. They will beat you. They will destroy you.
That's what the owner's doing.
That is what is happening. So that's my pick. Let's go to the fun one. Florida. Mm-hmm. The Florida face-off, if you will. Tampa Bay Lightning, the Florida Panthers. You can't ask. You could argue that these are the last 2 kind of destiny teams. Both of them getting to the cup. Winning the cups. I think Tampa won 2 in a row. Florida's trying to win their 2nd this year after losing to Vegas. So this is their chance to go. And they face off against a familiar foe. Last year, they beat them, I think, very handily in 5 games, although it could have been closer. This year, I've been very impressed with Tampa Bay this year and how they played the whole season. How do you feel about the Florida-Tampa matchup?
So I'm going to give you some trivia right here. Can I give you some trivia, Nick, before you go with this? This is the 4th meeting in 5 years.
Great.
The series winner has reached the cup final every single time. Fourth meeting in 5 years. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Nick, what do you got?
So the Battle of Florida, we got a lot of rivals here. Battle of Ontario, now Battle of Florida. Now, I know most people are going to have, I don't know, most people might have Florida. I'm going to take Tampa in 7 games. Reason being, they have Kucherov, which got 120 points. Also Gensel with an insane amount of goals, how much I miss him. And their power play, watching it is like watching NHL Premium, because I'm a Penguins fan. Because, like, seriously, imagine Crosby on that power play, it'd be raps. But Brandon Hagel's been great for me in fantasy. Braden Point has a heck of a shot. I think Tampa Bay this season, their energy, it's going to be a great series, but I got Tampa in 7.
Ooh, Tampa's winning it on the road?
That's the top attack.
Oh, no, Tampa's at home on 7, right?
Yeah, because they're second and Florida's third.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's the top. NHL's top attack is Tampa.
Yep. Todd, what do you got? Because I got a lot of thoughts on this one. What do you got?
Dude, I am not going against my son on this one. Tampa Bay in 7.
Okay.
Bloodbath in the swamp.
So here's how I kind of view things especially when I look at the playoffs. One of the things about getting deep into the NHL playoffs, and Tampa did that 2 years in a row, and then they didn't go very far in the playoffs because of injuries from the previous 2 settings. Florida has kind of had that injury bug this year. It's not surprising. They reached the Cup and they lost because of injuries. Then they reached the Cup and they barely held on against Edmonton. They were up 3-0, if everybody remembers, and almost lost it, which would have been tragic for them, great for Edmonton. But it worked out in the end as an American team kept the Cup, and the Kachucks got to have a big party, which was fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with Florida is the injuries. And I know they went and picked up the guy from Boston, who I've never been a fan of. And
oh, God. I mean, that's a great trade for them. I don't know why Boston made that trade.
I know exactly why they made the trade. He lost a step. He's been deep into the playoffs. He doesn't have the same speed.
But then Boston going on, like, how have they been without him? We're missing the playoffs for the first time in 8 years.
Boston literally is trying to shop for a new coach. That's what they were going for. That's another story for another time. My worry about Florida is when you have deep runs into the playoffs, your team is typically hobbled. Kachuk getting hurt in the frozen face-off, or the four-nation face-off, which was fantastic, even though he got hurt. He should be coming back, but there's questions, because what if he gets hurt immediately? That's a different team. And I know with the additions that Florida has, they're looking to be strong, but I just think the special teams of Tampa, they reloaded, they retooled, and they're back. I did not expect that. I thought Tampa, after their 2 wins, were going to go away for a bit, but they're back.
Ew.
Here's some notes to some of those disappointing teams. This is how you run a franchise.
Exactly.
Tampa Bay Lightning is how you run a franchise.
It's been
everybody that you pointed out. You could have said, oh, he's been injured, he's older, he's lost a step. No, they retooled. They have the seasoned vets, they have the young people, they have the team. And again, look at the goaltending. Their goaltender is elite. I know Florida has the team, but I'm just saying I'm going to bet on the fresher tires, the fresher car, and to me, it's Tampa Bay. I don't have them going to 7. I have this in 5, similar to last year.
Okay.
There's going to be like a goal or things that happen that just tilt the series, like a 2-1 overtime win for Tampa in game 3 or 4. And then they're going to go home and take care of business, because in the NHL hockey playoffs, going to game 7 in the first round is terrible. It is bad for your team. You want to be out, you want to get rid of them, and you want to move on, and it is hard to do. So I think Tampa understands that. Everyone that you pointed out has that kill factor. Yeah. They know what it takes to end a team season. That's the part you could literally go back 5 minutes and say, see, so why did you pick Ottawa? Because they just are too drunk to even understand what they're doing.
Okay.
So that's why I picked Ottawa. Sure. So I have Tampa Bay in 5. We all like the Lightning on this one, and I wish Kachuk a speedy recovery in the offseason. I don't think he finishes this series, personally.
So let me just say one thing here. I think Brad Marchand on the Panthers is a horrible fit for him. I don't think he matches it. I think he likes the team. I just don't think he's a better player than Boston Marchand. And I don't think he's going to do good in the playoffs. And Matthew Tkachuk, he is coming back for game 1. I think they said everyone's healthy. No, they said everyone's available, but is everyone healthy? I don't think Tkachuk is healthy enough to go on and beat one of the favorite teams here in Tampa Bay.
What about Aaron Eckhart? Oh, wait, no, that was the actor from The Dark Knight. No, Aaron Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad.
Is
he healthy?
Is he healthy? I don't think I've seen him.
Healthy enough?
The beauty of hockey, the beauty of hockey, and you can watch
the names.
No, not the names. It's the injury.
Announcers saying the names.
They are all wonderful. It's the injury reports.
Yeah.
You cannot trust anything any of these teams are saying at all. And my favorite part about the injuries is when you see a guy skate off, which is why I think it's so important that McDavid played before the playoffs. When you see someone skate off and they go lower body injury, upper body injury, because of all the gear and because they're wearing everything and the hits are happening at such speed, you don't really know what's going on. The difference between the NBA and the NHL is that I can see what happened to the player and if he's going to come back or get carried off, or is he LeBron James to get carried off, to be resurrected in 2 minutes, to come back. These are NHL guys.
Don't mention LeBron James and injuries.
You can't mention LeBron James.
You have hockey players like rolling around on the ice.
LeBron James would die in hockey.
He would. Most of the NBA players would die in a hockey. Mm-hmm. So my point is, you can't trust any of these reports because they all lie, and they don't tell the truth for a reason. Because you don't want a guy to target your injured player and where he is injured. So they just say very obtuse things. I'm concerned because of the injuries coming in. I'm also concerned because, in all reality, Florida's had 2 deep runs, and that takes a toll, and you saw that this season, and also the way that they play. They're physical, forechecking, speedy team. They play on turnovers. They play on getting you to mess up. Tampa Bay knows how to play against this team.
That, exactly.
And they have the skill, they have the speed, and they have the health. That's why I think
this
Tampa.
Comes down to who dominates on the power play, because you have Tampa, whose power play comes in at like 28%, 27.9%, but then Florida's power play kill came in 4th in the NHL at 84%.
Yeah. And also, I want to say one thing. I think how Tampa Bay recognized how old Stamkos was getting, they got rid of him, but then they did a great job without him and replacing him. And they've done a great job on the power play, like we said, and just getting rid of him and then shoving him over to the Predators, which he's been doing all right, but like he wouldn't have fit here anymore. And I think Gensel to replace him has been great. He's a great goal scorer, and yeah.
Now the Caps need to do the same with Tom Wilson.
Oh God, I hate him.
I agree with you, and Nashville's one of your disappointing teams, and I think they, again, to your point, see how Tampa worked it? Do you see how Tampa Bay Lightning ran their team? And by the way, one of the top stadiums to watch hockey ever.
It's a great stadium to watch hockey. Yeah.
Fantastic stadium. All right, let's go to the last matchup that I have on my list. Carolina versus the New Jersey, as they say in Seinfeld, Devils. Didn't paint my face all red. Who do you have, Nick? What do you like? Todd, or unless you want to go first, Todd, because it's close to home with New Jersey there, not too far. Mm-hmm. The Rangers are out.
I don't think the Devils win this. I think Carolina wins. Jack Hughes with the shoulder surgery, I think, is a major issue. And so now they're really kind of depending on Jacob Markstrom. But you had 10 Carolina Hurricanes players hit 10 plus goals. Mm-hmm. And they've got Sebastian Aho,
which is great. And I think Carolina on paper is the better team. Obviously, Devils' chemistry is great, but without Jack Hughes, they are also great. Obviously, a huge downside, but I think Carolina and Seth Jarvis, which has been phenomenal this season. Congrats to Seth Jarvis. I've loved watching him play. and also Sebastian Aho, and they're just great. And also Brent Burns. I don't know how Brent Burns is this good at 40, because nobody is doing anything like him as a defenseman at 40. And Jacob Slavin, which was great. He was great in the Four Nations face-off. Great defensive player. And I think all around, I think I'm going to take Carolina in either 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think Carolina might even go in 4.
Mm.
Mostly because I want to see Frank the Tank flip out.
Is he just a massive Devils?
He's a Devils fan like crazy.
Crazy Devils.
Every time they lose, it's the best.
Every
It's
time they
just like,
give up a goal, it's like, no, it's the end of the world. It goes crazy. And
it's so good.
it's so funny.
Don't you think Frank the Tank should put his diet online so people can see how you get that way?
He does. He does.
Oh no, he's losing weight now. Yes, I mean before he cared.
No, he had a whole thing where he would cook in his apartment and he would air it.
I see that scene in Moneyball where he eats the Twinkie. That's where I think Frank the Tank is associated with.
Yeah, it's great seeing him lose the weight.
You guys both have Carolina.
Yeah,
I see. This is an interesting series only because of again, the Devils are not. They're right on par with each other. The biggest thing that I agree with both of you on is there's such a variety coming at you from Carolina, and they're coached in a way that they're not. You shut down one line, it doesn't matter. You shut down a second line, they got they just have the players. They have the depth. They have the depth. To Todd's point about the goal scoring, to me, I see them going to the second round. However, I do see this one being a little bit longer than 4 or 5. I see this being like, a 6-game series, a little bit longer. I just feel like the Devils are a little more scrappier and are going to hang out a little longer. Yes, the injury to Hughes is terrible. And again, I go back to there's a new trend in the market with smaller defensemen, and they're excellent with puck handling, excellent with skating ability, but the forecheck is what is you're going to see these big forwards coming down, these big right wing, left wing guys coming down to just eat lunch, and these smaller defensemen are going to have to get the durability.
I don't think New Jersey has the depth that Carolina has. I think New Jersey is going to have to be carried by Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt. Jesper Bratt has been having one heck of a season. I think he had maybe 70 assists. I think it's most for a New Jersey Devil in a regular season. And I just don't think they have like the wingers and the size. I think they have probably 6 great guys, but I don't.
You just see Carolina overwhelming them in waves.
Carolina's energy. They're a scary playoff team, Carolina.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're hard out, and they're coached great. They have a great coach, but playoff time. But I got Carolina as well. I just have the series going a little bit longer. So just to wrap up our Eastern Conference here, I have Ottawa. You guys have Toronto. We all have Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. I have Washington. You both have Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
And we all have Carolina. So this would be again. We'll go over the second round when we get there, and then I'll go over what you guys think might be Cup finals. But let's jump over to the Western Conference. I'm going to go with the easy ones, or at least the ones I think are going to be easy to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go with Winnipeg versus St. Louis. St. Louis has a great story. They went and picked up Jim Montgomery, University of Denver alum. He gets fired from Boston, gets picked up by St. Louis. They go on a 12-game heater, and they get into the playoffs, which is great for them. The city's abuzz about St. Louis. Everyone's stoked. They're looking forward to the playoffs. And then you have the best team in the most points with Winnipeg. So here we go. St. Louis versus Winnipeg. The difference between a city full of people and a city that's empty. Nick, who do you have?
So it's great seeing St. Louis go on that win streak. Great seeing them beat the Penguins, obviously. And I think their whole energy is great. I think, obviously you said the city was horrible, though. I think...
No. The city's empty. The people come in from outside the city and they love their team. The city's empty. It's fine to have an empty city. The city people get upset because they don't hang out. They go to the game and they immediately leave.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's a bummer that they have to verse Winnipeg in the first round, because if they versed any other team, I would see them going far, because their huge run of those that 10-game win streak, they were a top 5 team. And I think they're still a great contender, but I don't see them beating Winnipeg, so I got Winnipeg in 6. And they're great squad. Kyle Connor, absolutely amazing season. They also had Mark Scheifele. He just got an overtime winner, too. So they're on a buzz going into the playoffs with winning the President's Cup. So I got Winnipeg in 6.
I love the winner of the President's Cup because it sets him up for such success in the Cup.
Yeah, I don't think Winnipeg even goes past 5 games. I think they win in 5 because I think they won 3-1 during the year. They were 3-1 against St. Louis during the year, outscored them 14-8. I mean, Hellebuck, like, how do you solve this issue if you're St. Louis of Hellebuck? Like, even if
honestly,
you get shots off, what do you, like, he's a 2.1 goals against average. What are you doing with that? The Jets are 116 points, 86 goal differential.
Unreal.
It's unbelievable.
And Hellebuck, I'm going to argue he had the best season ever. 2 goals a game average, that's my dream of, like, what we're going through right now. Is the Penguins' Great Depression. Like, seriously, he's the best. He might even be better than Carey Price. I think Carey Price has a better resume right now, but if they go far, Hellebuck might be maybe top 5 of all time. He's unreal. And I think the only person that can stop him on the Blues is Jordan Kyrou, because he has a very great shot. It's been fun watching him during the season too. But Hellebuck, man, no one's going through him.
Yeah.
I feel like you both have walked into the trap. The President's Cup trap.
Okay.
You got sucked in because you went to St. Louis and you hung out with people.
Nope.
With degenerates.
People were like, yeah, we're really good. We can beat the Jets. That Hellebuck can't stop a beach ball. It's 2019.
Way deeper than that. Who won the Four Nations face-off? What was that goalie? Sorry, I can't remember.
Jordan Binnington?
Yeah, who does he play for?
Okay.
Doesn't he have a cup already?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, Jordan Binnington is not playing in Boston. Jordan Binnington is only himself when he's playing in Boston. Where did they win the Four Nations Cup? In Boston. Where did they win the Stanley Cup? In Boston. They're not in Boston right now.
He's had a 919 save percentage since March 1st.
Legit.
He is legit.
And guess what else they have? One of the greatest coaches ever in Jim Montgomery, who coached the University of Denver to a national champion in 2017 in Chicago, no less.
Okay.
So, as somebody who has witnessed the bald man of greatness that is Jim Montgomery, not only is St. Louis hot, this is why the President's Cup goes down in flames. You would much rather be the number 1 seed in the President's Cup in the Eastern Conference, even though you both picked Montreal. The hottest teams coming in have been playing playoff hockey. They've had to. St. Louis had to. If they didn't play playoff hockey, they wouldn't be here. They had to win 12 in a row. They couldn't lose one of those games. If you look at the standings, they're out if they lose one of those games.
It's crazy.
So St. Louis had to have everything go their way. And in hockey, when things are going your way, it's hard for it to not go your way.
Yeah,
this team is feeling it.
But this is like what the Mets went through in baseball, and I'm going to bring the Mets into it. Last year, everything had to go the Mets' way for them to make the playoffs, and it did. But the Winnipeg Jets are the Los Angeles Dodgers of hockey right now. They are a meat grinder. They are going to chew you up and spit you out.
If they had, like, Nikita Kucherov, but they're not, like, spending that much money.
No, I'm not talking about money. I'm just talking about talent right now. I'm sorry. This goes 6 games, and maybe it's about you're not going 7 games with this. Jets win. I don't care about your bald coach.
I care. I love, again, anybody coming out doing that great stuff from University of Denver, which only brings out the best talent in people.
I think you're sucking up to get a Hymns for Men sponsorship for male pattern baldness.
How do you know I'm not? Compare us, and I'll just tell you, things are working out pretty good for me. Yeah. I'm going to go with St. Louis in the upset here, just simply because St. Louis, this is what they feel. This is what they believe. The city believes. You look at what they've done. They had no business being here. None. Everybody would say that about them. They're also not fraudulent. They don't have a goaltender that's not unproven. And I feel like they just have things that are lined up. I feel that they're going to get a couple bounces their way. And then once you start feeling the pressure, the Canadiens haven't had a cup in a long time because they're so desperate. And every time I watch hockey, when you get a little desperate and you start playing all clenched up, that's when things bad happen. St. Louis is going to play
Canada.
Winnipeg?
It's in Canada?
Most Canadian team.
Oh, go figure.
Very Canadian. I think if St. Louis was in the Eastern Conference, look where they would be. And they would be like one of not a wild card team. And I think the Eastern Conference is such a bad, the Metropolitan, they're so bad. The teams are horrible. They just squeak in the playoffs with 80-something points. And if they were in the Western Conference, everything would change.
I think the Western Conference has more Stanley Cup contenders than the Eastern Conference by a mile, and we saw that. That's why I did the Eastern Conference first. If Winnipeg wins, could they win the Cup? Yes. If St. Louis wins, could they win the Cup? Yes. So again, this is St. Louis is not a joke. They're not a has-been. They're not. There's one team in the Western Conference. Hold on, let me look. Two teams in the Western Conference that I give no chance for a cup. Everyone else I give a chance for the cup. So I got St. Louis. You guys have Winnipeg. Let's go to the easiest matchup in the Western Conference, in my opinion. Dallas Stars, who we got to watch in the Western Conference last year against Edmonton, versus the Colorado Avalanche, who had decided smartly to rest their stars before the playoffs.
Well, wow, what a great decision that we had to suffer through with fantasy hockey. Right?
that has more to do with the commissioner of fantasy hockey, who will remain nameless, but is on the screen.
It was my first year.
Again, everyone's first year of marriage is tough. I get it. Trying to figure it out. Relationships, opinions. Who do you have, Nick, in this one?
I think this is the hardest series to go for. Everyone's saying Colorado, then everyone's saying Dallas. Dallas has been in the Western Conference Finals for 4 out of these past 5 years. I got Dallas in 7. What about you?
Todd, you want to go?
I think Dallas, because Ranatan, Ricky Tavi, 95 points, and he's on a revenge tour against the Avs. That's why. And he never bet against a guy who's got a chip on his shoulder. Trade me, will you?
I think this is actually the easiest one for many reasons. One of the reasons that Dallas just had an injury. I believe it's Robertson who took it in the knee. He has a knee brace after the game. Should not have been playing in a meaningless game. He was playing. He got hurt. Dallas has had long runs in the playoff, which means they're more injury prone. The other thing that they have had huge problems with is they've been outshot in every game for the last 15 games, even when it mattered. They're getting outshot tremendously. Ottinger has been horrible. I'm not even saying, he got pulled after allowing 5 goals in 2 periods. Not even recognizable. The Avs come in, their captain is playing hockey for the first time since the 22 Stanley Cup. He's probably going to get pulled up in this series, which would be unbelievable energy. The Avs arena is so desperate. They got more talent, more speed. They're just all around the better team, and they're hungrier than Dallas. I just see Dallas getting swept. I see the Avs just taking care of business quickly in the series.
Their power play kill is 24th in the league.
Dallas is?
Colorado's.
And I don't think they're getting past
Dallas's power play is 3rd overall in the league.
Yeah, with when they had their team. Their team is suffering.
But still, Casey DeSmith, he hasn't been that good. Jake Allen hasn't been that good. But in the playoffs, arguably they're the best playoff team.
Who's your goalie? Who's the most important position for them?
Ottinger.
Look at his stats.
Yeah, he hasn't been that great right now.
Not that great.
Playoffs?
Not that great. he's been not even wearing pads. He's letting everything in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, geez,
Okay.
get me out there. At least I'm going to give it an attempt. This guy's been bad.
I have inside information that Jake has been talking to Jake the Snake Plumber and has been seeing a hypnotist to help him as we go into the playoffs here.
Good for him.
The
fantastic.
Devil Ting are coming to your. I'll get all up in your grill.
I think Dallas is one of the teams that I have that cannot win the cup in the Western.
But also, Avalanche is a pretty scary team, I'll say. They're really scary they got Martin Necas. Now they have Nathan McKinnon, which Nathan McKinnon might be one of the best hockey players I've ever seen. He's so scary. He's great. And Cale Makar, I think he comes down as the best defenseman ever when he retires. So that too. But their goaltending is not as great as Dallas's. And I know you say Jake Ottinger's horrible, but like you're gonna think Scott Wedgwood over Jake Ottinger?
Again, Colorado won without a good goaltender before. I just feel like Dallas is just burnt out.
Wait, Nathan McKinnon plays for Colorado.
Yes.
I'm picking Colorado.
Yes.
Okay.
I just switched because of McKinnon.
McKinnon.
They just got
McKinnon. Unbelievable.
They just got Tyler Seguin back, and even though he should be in a nursing home, he's pretty good. And they're not even wearing visors. I mean, like, Jamie Benn's not wearing a visor, Tyler Seguin's not. But then you got Wyatt Johnston, Rope Hintz, and their defense is great. And
wait, is that the rule? If you're a certain age, you don't have to wear a visor?
if you were in the league when you didn't have to wear a visor, then you don't have to wear a visor today.
That was like when I was a kid and there were guys going around with no helmets because they were in the league with when there were no helmets. Back in my day.
Yeah.
I just think the Avs they're just so good.
So who's got the least number of visors?
Oh, that's a good question. I would think it's the Penguins, but it's not. I think it's probably Dallas has 2.
If again, for those watching at home, if you watch a game and you see a guy rolling around without a visor, it is wild. It is wild to witness because you're like, what is he? Really? You care that little?
Just like that's it.
I mean, again, like every ref has at least a visor.
So the team with the least number of visors, is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think definitely a actually
disadvantage because they're older, but it's an advantage because they're wiser and
exactly. You know, they have superpowers. They got hypnotism, and they could say Nathan McKinnon, go, just
blow a tire.
Yeah, exactly.
And he blows the tire.
Myro Heiskanen's just gonna kill everybody, and Thomas Harley's too good, and Essa Lindell's too good, and Dallas Stars have an atmosphere, and Colorado's never gonna do anything.
I think
because it's the West. I didn't even know Nathan McKinnon played for Colorado, so I'm going with him.
That's why I agree with you on Colorado. I think the Luka trade made all of Dallas terrible fans. They're all still upset about that, even though this isn't basketball. They play in the same arena. The entire vibe in Dallas is then sucked into a vortex that no one wants to be in. I see the Avs. The Avs and the energy. All right. Good arguments for Dallas. I just like the Avs. Let's go to, I think this is another easy one for me.
Easiest one.
The Vegas Golden Knights. Again, another arena that is fantastic that you should go visit versus the Minnesota Wild, who wildly, accidentally, purposely made it to the playoffs, in my opinion. So the Knights get this great matchup, and also in my opinion. So who do you have, Nick, in this nail biter?
Vegas easily has this in, I'll say 5, and I'll say 5 because Minnesota got Joel Ekseranek back, and they got Kirill Kaprizov back. So the energy's up for Minnesota, and, Fleury's retiring, but Vegas is just too good. Vegas
got the Z Williams on the team now for the playoffs.
Oh, wow. He's going to do so much. He is going to
Colby Baker finalist for the University of Denver national championship last year. Pretty solid.
What's he going to do when Noah Hannafin is going to kill him?
Yes, he may die if he plays in the playoffs because he is little. You're correct.
Yeah, you little guy.
The forecheck is evil in the playoffs. I'll tell you that.
Can I just comment on how crazy it is that NHL will just bring in these college players?
No, it's not crazy. It's fantastic.
Right now.
It's funny.
One of the
right
this is the best part of this story that you're about. Ryan Leonard, one of the best players in college hockey, was on the Washington Capitals when Ovechkin scored and broke the record. He celebrated with him after he just lost in the grade 8 to get to the Frozen Four.
1 point in his last 9 games.
Who, Ryan Leonard or Ovechkin?
Ryan Leonard.
Yeah, right. Again, Ryan Leonard is one of the best. Again, it takes you a season to figure it out.
That would be like the
But it's
guy
not like
playing in March Madness joining basketball for the playoffs.
Yes,
But
it would be, and they should do it, and they should allow it. The NHL does it right. They draft the kids. They get them for 3 years. Every guy who leaves college after the playoffs, hats off to them. All these kids getting signed. I
Can you
love how it
imagine a
works.
guy playing in the college national championship and then the Super Bowl the next week?
Listen,
Like, no other sport's doing it. And I don't think...
but do you know why? The
Why?
NHL owns
Because all the college hockey players are 32.
But you can do this in football as well. You can play college football, college hockey till 26. So there are kids that get held back and are freshmen at 20. The Boston University kid, number 18, who just signed, he's like 6'9". All he did is eat up players in the Frozen Four. Like, he would check a player and the player would disappear. It was
And he's only 2 years younger than Ovi.
probably. So he gets signed. Anyways, I think it's great that the college players go up, but again, they're not going to have an impact typically in the playoffs. It's very shocking if they do, just because it's a totally different game.
And Ryan Leonard's not doing anything for the Capitals, and I think Demidov and Hudson are doing everything for the Canadiens.
But Hudson came in last year. This is his
He's
first
still,
full season.
He's like 12 years old, though.
No, Hudson. I mean, Hudson and all of his brothers going to BU is a fantastic story. All his kids are going to. The Hughes brothers, the Hudson brothers. Anyways,
Well,
so back to Vegas.
I think Vegas is going to win.
Vegas been how long? How long?
I got...
Probably 4.
I think of Vegas in 3, maybe.
Nice.
3, if possible.
3, the 4th game, Minnesota just mails it.
I've been to a game in Vegas. The Minnesota Wild are going to go to the Vegas playoff game, and they're not going to be able to get through the warm-up.
That's quite
I'm
possible.
going to be able to get through the warm-up or the opening shot.
Die.
That's it. It's over. They're going to just surrender. How do you walk into the playoffs with 97 points and a negative 11 goal differential? What do you even do? Like, what are you even doing? Do you even sell tickets? Do you even sell tickets to the playoffs?
Hockey America, Minnesota, everybody.
It is.
And again, Minnesota, Vegas and Minnesota, these are 2 great arenas. I will give both arenas high marks. I'm happy Chicago's not in because the Chicago arena needs to be refixed up. That's
Everything in Chicago is
terrible.
And I feel bad for Connor Bedard because I know he wants to stay there. The atmosphere's great. Just give him some help, man. Because he's like...
Give him some help. He's a midget.
Yeah, exactly. He needs some help. He's like my size. And so, like, I need some help if I was in the NHL. So give Connor Bedard some help. They're getting like the first pick every year.
I wouldn't want to coach that team.
Yeah.
Let's go to the fun matchup. This is the 4th year they match up. The Kings and the Edmonton Oilers match up yet again. Early on as well, they I don't know if you saw, my favorite game at the end of the regular season was when Edmonton played the Kings. They pulled all their stars and then proceeded to just, as the Kings coach said, try to hurt us.
That game took place at approximately 3 a.m. here.
Cheers to you.
So no, I've never watched anything with the Kings and Oilers, but I heard this McDavid guy is pretty good. I saw him in the Four Nations face-off. He's fast. But I think he's hurt.
He came back. He came back with
He
looks great. He looks
isn't
great.
Bradle on
Drysdale?
Oh yeah,
Draisaitl?
Dick Drysdale. Didn't he play for the Dodgers? And so I think they're both ready. But what about Matthias Ekholm?
So that's the problem.
I didn't know Aaron Eckhart had so many friends in the relatives in the NHL. He's out for round 1, isn't he?
The problem I have with Edmonton is not having Matthias Ekholm back because their defense have been absolutely atrocious. And if they're going to win, the only reason they're going to win is because of Leon Draisaitl. And if they don't have Leon Draisaitl, then they're not going to win. And if they don't have Matthias Ekholm, then they're not going to win. Because Matthias Ekholm is a beast. He can score goals. He's a great defenseman. He's huge. And I think without him and without Draisaitl, they just got their B team at the end of the season. Like the guy said, they got their B team at the end of the season to try to kill the Kings. And the Kings killed them 5-0. Quinton Byfield is great. I love him. Kevin Fiala is great. Anze Kopitar is still doing it at like 90 years old. So is Drew Doughty. But I'm going to take Kings in 7.
Ooh.
Taking the Kings? Edmonton had the best power play in the league.
Taking Kings in 7.
The biggest problem that the Kings have had in the playoffs against Edmonton is the power play, to your point, Todd. If you look at the last couple of years, Edmonton has, I believe, what was the stat? 14 goal. Anyways, it's crazy how effective their power play was in the playoffs against the Kings. They literally got on the power play and it was like easy money.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Don't the Kings have 8 40-point forwards?
That's good.
Think about that depth.
Yeah, it's like with Carolina. You get rid of one line, you got this line. Get rid of that line, we got that line. And I think here, Quinton Byfield, it's tough. I think this in Dallas is gonna be the toughest series to go. Because you always have this matchup every single year. It's every single year in the first round. You have the Kings versus Edmonton, and Edmonton usually wins. But I think the Kings are not what they were last year. And I know, Dad, you had the Kings winning the Cup last year, which I thought was atrocious.
I did, but I'm an idiot.
But now, I don't think it's that crazy for the Kings to win the Cup.
Plus, they have Darcy Kemper, and she's got like 2.02
He's like a
goals against
Vezina
average.
finalist, and he could honestly,
Wait, that's a guy?
No, it's the trophy for the best goalie in the NHL. If Hellebuck was not in the NHL, I think Darcy Kemper would have the Vezina, because he has, I think, a 207 goals against average.
2.02.
Crazy. I mean, seriously. I don't like. Only person that can stop it, like to get through him, I think Draisaitl and McDavid. But they also do have Zach. Is Zach Hyman back from injury?
Bro, I don't know.
Brendan, I know you had him. Is he back?
Don't know that either. You'd have to look.
Like you said, they're always lying when it comes to the injuries.
Everyone's healthy, and then it's right before the game they tell you who's not playing, and you don't even know why they're not playing.
Yeah, I think the Kings win. They have home ice now for the first time.
Yeah, they do have home ice too. That's a great thing.
Not really. Have you been to the Kings' home ice?
Dude, you've seen the Kings' atmosphere. They're in Los Angeles. Like, when they won the Stanley Cup against the Rangers and Alec Martinez scored that goal.
You watched the end.
Crazy.
The only thing LA cares about is championships. This is the first round. There's going to be Edmonton fans all in that arena because they don't care until they get to the Cup.
I'm checking Game Time for tickets for the first game just to see what they go for.
I gotta see.
The Kings fans, just like the Laker fans, are like, hey, if we lose in the playoffs, we didn't even exist because we didn't bring home a championship.
What just happened? I didn't hear what you just said. The whole thing cut out.
I just basically said in LA, all they count is championships. That's it.
Yeah.
So, like, at the first round matchup, they're like, yeah, tell us if you beat Edmonton because you haven't beat them. And if
I
you
can
beat them,
I can get behind the home team, lower bowl, 447 for 2 tickets.
Easy.
Now, the LA Kings versus Edmonton Oilers. They have won the season series 3-1. They beat them in December, which was like the core of the regular season. People were completely healthy. Beat them 4-3 in overtime. Then Edmonton
doesn't count. It was 3-on-3 overtime.
Then they beat them 1-0, and then the Kings beat them 3-0, and then 5-0, which Edmonton did not play anybody.
I got Edmonton just because they got to lose for me to not believe in them anymore. And right now,
you got Edmonton because you make picks that are ridiculous. That's why you got Edmonton. You make ridiculous picks, one hits, and you're like, oh, I'm a genius. This is like the same thing you did with. Did you pick Minnesota?
Did I pick Minnesota? The Wild?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
That'd have been ridiculous.
I picked Ottawa
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's the one you're upset about. And I picked the Avs where you guys think Dallas is going to make it. Which
I picked the Avs.
And I picked St. Louis, which I could easily make. I made very good arguments for St. Louis because of the heat and what they're bringing. I'm picking Edmonton because, again, the Kings have got to show me in the playoffs they can put Edmonton down. And they have not.
And they're going to show
not. Fine. Then they can prove me wrong. Right now, I got
better depth because after you're done with Draisaitl and McDavid, who you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, they're not better than Adrian Kempe, Kevin Fiala, Quinton Byfield, Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty, and imagine them on a power play against not Matthias Ekholm, and at home as well. I got Kings. Kings.
All right. You have the Kings, and how long?
I'm with him.
How long?
LeBron's going to start showing up in a Kings jersey. It's all over.
Yes, if he shows up in a Kings jersey, just call it a day. It's over. I had Edmonton in how many games? We'll go 6.
Okay.
I have Edmonton winning at home in 6.
Dad, what do you have?
Kings in 7.
Yes, you guys both have Kings. All right, so of the matchups that we have so far, just on the Western Conference, you both have Winnipeg. I have St. Louis. I believe Todd and I have Colorado. You have Dallas, Nick. We all have the Vegas Golden Knights. I have Edmonton and you both have the Kings. So we have a little more split on the Western Conference, which is not surprising because the Western Conference has more Stanley Cup eligible teams. The Eastern Conference first round has some easy ones, I think, to move on. As far as the most entertaining matchups that are in the first round, I'm going to go Edmonton Kings, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Dallas, and the Avs are all top on my tier. And then I have Tampa Bay and Florida as well. Those are the ones that I would be most interested in. I also like the Toronto-Ottawa matchup only because of the Canadian. So those are the 5 matchups that I feel are must-see TV per se. Yeah. You guys would probably include Washington versus Montreal because you guys...
That's the only one I'm watching.
Okay.
The only one I'm watching.
You want to see...
Also, if the Penguins slipped their way into the playoffs, I would bet my dad's life savings for them to win the Stanley Cup.
Your dad?
The Penguins got in?
Because if you have a team that's not making... Like the Panthers, when they slipped in by a thread in 2023, then they beat the best team in the league, Boston.
Nick, the Penguins were so far away from slipping in.
They were, because they were like 3 games off, and then they started sucking again. It's like the Rangers. The Rangers, they declined this season. They were doing great, then they were doing horrible. They were doing great, they were doing horrible. The Eastern Conference is so inconsistent that I think the Panthers, when they got in, they beat Boston, and they were consistent.
The Penguins have a biggest issue that the Penguins have is they don't know how to forecheck, and they don't have goaltending.
Our forecheck is horrible. I saw a graph, it was 4 months ago, I saw something. We have the worst forecheck out of the past 8 years, and it's not even close.
And if you win the cup, the one thing you need to be good at is forecheck. Forget goal. Forget everything. You need to murder people in their own zone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we win. We start 3-checking, and we hold back a checker to forecheck later.
And that's also why the Detroit Red Wings won the Cup in 2008 was because of Cronwall, and he just killed everybody.
I think this is going to be an entertaining Stanley Cup. Picks for the Cup final. Do you guys have anything, or you need more time? Who would you like to see in the Cup final? Who do you see making it?
Pittsburgh and Washington in the final.
Coyotes in the finals.
Why does he just say Coyotes and Pittsburgh? You might as well make it impossible. Hey, the Coyotes are going to make the playoffs. Yay!
I want to see the Montreal Canadiens.
If Canadiens beat Capitals, then they're making it. If they don't, what I have currently is Stars Tampa. I might tweak it a little bit because I think I want to see that rematch of 2020.
You have Stars Tampa?
Yeah, I have Stars Tampa right now. It might change it.
Canadiens Kings.
Todd, if you're going to pick the Montreal Canadiens, you might as well go with St. Louis too. If you're going to pick the 2 bottom seeds, you might as well have them face each other.
Yeah, but now what's concerning me about the Kings, their power play is 27th.
Who cares, man? Let's roll.
Not good.
Let's roll with this. Canadiens,
Okay.
Kings.
But then also what's interesting, look at like the second and third power play in the league, Carolina and Devils, and they're both versing each other in the first round, which I think's interesting too, because Devils have a great power play. They got Brett Pesce. He's, not in a nursing home yet, but he's pretty good. And if they get Jack Hughes back, he'll be great, but he's just going to get steamrolled by Brent Burns. And their both power plays are great, so I think you got to have a good penalty kill for these playoffs.
I just want to see that LA fans try to understand French.
They don't need to understand anything. They're LA fans. You exist in their world.
Exactly.
For me, the problem for me picking this, as I can see Tampa Bay getting there. I think Tampa Bay's healthy.
Yeah.
They got everything that they need to get there. The Western Conference to me is like such a toss-up. I see four or five teams could easily make it. There's so much talent in the Western Conference. The other thing is like there are teams that are holding back. Like the Vegas Knights were holding back. I feel the Avs are holding back. They're getting ready for this. There are teams that are so hungry to be back in the Stanley Cup final in the Western Conference. That's why I think it's hard for Edmonton to make it back there.
I think Oilers are holding back the most.
I just feel like everybody knows what it takes. These playoffs are going to be excellent. If I was going to go with some like near and dear to my heart, I would love to see the Avs make it. But to your point about goaltending, so I'm going to go with my upset special. I got St. Louis going to the Stanley Cup final against Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I think maybe it's Winnipeg and Montreal.
And all
you're going to see tariff. You're going to see tariff anger. Coming through tariff anger coming through in Canadian hockey. They've got a chip on their shoulder and they're angry that now every goal they have is going to be taxed at 30%.
And it will be the last Stanley Cup played in Canada as they become our 51st state next year.
Oh my goodness.
And then the cup stays in the state. Ah!
I can't see a Canadian team getting the cup. If one Canadian team got the cup, who would it be for you guys?
I mean, to me, just because I love the TNT crew, and they cry so much about Toronto, I would just like to see them get it because they cry. They just are always crying about how Toronto can't get it done. But I mean, I would be okay with Edmonton getting it just because McDavid's so amazing.
I want Montreal because the Quebecois need something to go their way. It's been a long time.
Todd, it would be interesting because, again, all of those teams, Toronto believes they are owed it or they should get it, and then Edmonton believes they should get it. Then Montreal sneaks in and gets it. That would be comical.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, but Montreal, God, it's just tough. They have to verse the Capitals in the first round. I think Winnipeg has the best chance.
One of the things that we need to touch on in the offseason, though, is the patheticness of the Eastern Conference. When the Detroit Red Wings, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Boston Bruins, the New York Rangers, the New York Islanders, and the Pittsburgh Penguins all do not make the playoffs, what is wrong with your franchises? And they're not even in the Western Conference. Like, the Western Conference has legitimately 6 teams that can make it to the Cup. The Eastern Conference has maybe 4, 5 maybe. You could stretch it to 5.
We're just concentrating.
Enough.
Be concentrating for a while.
Focusing on, because,
I didn't even say the Philadelphia Flyers are in the mix of not making the playoffs.
They're not a real team. We don't include them ever. Right? Because on Pittsburgh, I don't like them. But with the Penguins right now, we've been in a rebuild since we've lost to the Capitals in 2019. And I think if
those are 6 elite franchises that are not in the playoffs and
first time.
And they're not even good.
Maybe the problem is the game.
And wait, but the GM that the Penguins got in, I think it was 2020, forgetting his name, but he ruined the Penguins franchise so bad. I mean, I think we got Jared McCann, we got Mikael Granlund, and then we signed 0-point Ryan Graves to a 6-year deal, which was phenomenal. And that's more than Letang's, Malkin's, and Crosby's deal. So we got a lot of GM issues, even though Kyle Dubas just got us a lot of draft picks. So we're probably not making the playoffs to 2028, I'll say, being realistic. I think Crosby's got maybe 3 years.
I think the Red Wings have the best chance of making the playoffs.
Red Wings are good.
Of all of the teams I listed, the Red Wings have the best chance.
I like watching the Red Wings play. Marco Kasper's a great rookie. Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane's doing pretty good, but at 36, he's not doing a 36.
They need to trade him and get again. They just need to move on. So this is our playoff special for the Shorthanded podcast that we're starting here. You'll be with us for the playoffs. We'll be doing some episodes. We'll do some maybe some end game reviews. Everything gets kicked off tomorrow, and then you can tell us how right or wrong we are. Don't forget to subscribe and like us. I am your host, Brendan. That is the kid, Nick, who is going to predict us into the future. Yeah. And then Todd, who knows about as much as we all witnessed here.
I can't wait to see Lemieux and Yager the first round.
So
let's go.
He'll be around for a bit.
It's going to be great.
And then we get to see what the offseason has for us. And we'll see if the University of Denver loses another coach to the NHL, as he has already been pegged. Did you hear this story? Chicago Blackhawks has already named him and said that's our next coach. We're going to get him. And my favorite is everyone's like, well, he has like 4 or 5 suitors, so he could say yes or no to whoever he wants at this point.
Like no.
So Chicago could get denied by a coach, which would be so fitting for Chicago. Anyways, that's all we have for today. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and don't forget, we may have a special guest. Peter Lemieux may join us because of his popularity to get the show, get more views, get more hype, more likes.
I'll ride those coattails. Let's go.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.